Hello, everyone. I am Aaron Covington,
And I'm Tony Ragg,
and we are
40 Black and Dad.
all right. Tony, welcome back. Welcome
Thank
back for
you.
another episode.
Yeah, I'm
Dispensing
here.
his dad. Yeah, we got a good compliment. Somebody was like, "You're doing a great job," or "I'm proud of you."
Oh,
I think on the Instagram post
okay.
on
Oh,
yours.
very cool. I
Yeah,
didn't see that. So that's good. And I just did the thumbs up and all the fireworks just blew up behind me. Did you see that?
yeah, I did see that. That was
I didn't know
amazing.
that was I didn't know like I didn't it's
I didn't know
not
that was a thing
we
either.
definitely have to put this one on YouTube.
Yeah. Also, yeah, we're starting to put the episodes on YouTube. I've been slow about that. Well, I was first was like, wasn't sure if we were going to do that.
Yeah.
But then I was like, did I just think that, or did we? I don't know. So anyway, I'm starting to put them up now.
Yeah.
So
Check
yeah,
out the YouTube. 40 Black
find
and
us
Dad
on
on YouTube.
find us on YouTube. And let's see, last week we talked about it takes a village
Yes, sir.
and some of the challenges with that, and of course, like the necessity of that in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
And this week we're getting into self-care for dads.
Very important. Very important topic. Everybody listening.
Yeah, something that definitely is new as a
Mhm.
topic, and as a topic for dads, where I think a lot of people would say their dads maybe lived a life of self-care. Being,
Oh,
just concerned
head
about
of leisure.
themselves or doing their own things and not really being an active parent. I think that was maybe somewhat of a common thing when we were growing up or even before us. And
Yeah.
but now being really active dads, it's like, what does it mean? How do you take some time for yourself and how do you collect your thoughts and your emotions um, to still be your best and to still be ready and on call basically.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like you said, it's a very new topic and a very new mindset because before we didn't think about,
Yeah, keep
you
going.
know,
I gotta
hey,
relocate a little bit. It's raining
okay,
out here.
yeah, no worries. I saw the raindrops. I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah, for dad self-care, like we didn't think before about, having the fortitude mentally and both physically to be like, hey, I need a break, or I need some time to myself, or even kind of to the next level is we need some us time when it comes to the baby, the first few months or the first years, or for a long time, it's always about the child, and you're on 24-hour call, 365 days a year, but at a certain point you're going to wear down mentally and emotionally and physically, and you're going to need that time away. And I know for me specifically, I kind of felt guilty in the beginning when I'm like, hey, I need a nap. Like, can you watch the baby for 45 minutes? I need to just go power down, just close my eyes. And
Yeah,
now, having talked to other parents who have done this before, who are kind of a little bit longer in the journey than we are, I'm like, you have to do that. If you don't, you at 20% battery is not going to be good for that child who needs 100% of you. So,
yeah,
especially if you have the benefit of having two parents there, you need to have some kind of cycle or understanding of, hey, I need some time. Mondays at 2 o'clock, it's my time to have 30 minutes off. Wednesdays at 2 o'clock, and whatever the agreement may be, but you have to have that time to really go and just decompress and power down and have some you time, so then you can actually be there 100% when it's your time to be on as dad.
yeah, 100%. Somebody was saying that, telling me that a lot of times what happens in terms of like postpartum
Yeah.
for men and women, especially for women, but it applies to men too, is that you lose so much sleep in the first week or so, first 2 weeks, and you're always fighting that and you never
Mhm.
catch up. So that brings on those feelings. Not that that's the only cause or that's the only way it happens, but a lot of times you don't even realize how much you're pushing yourself
Mhm.
and how much of the exertion is physical,
Yeah.
like just as physical as like doing some heavy lifting or working on your feet all day or whatever, that you lose the sleep and then you never really catch back up to it. And then you just start getting down and more down and more down.
That's true. I was the king of power naps before I had a kid, and now I'm the king of micro power naps where I can give me 10 minutes. I can be out and recharge in
And
15
recharge.
minutes. And I mean it's true, and it's funny. There's a Apple documentary for those who have Apple TV. It's called Dads. And
Hmm.
I watched it. I don't know if you've seen it, Aaron, or
I haven't
not.
even heard of
I
this.
watched it. You've seen it?
I haven't even heard of it.
Oh, yeah. So if you have Apple TV, check it out. It's called Dads. It came out a few years back, and I've watched it before I had a kid. I watched it just because I thought it was cool, and then up leading up to having a kid, I watched it more and more times just from different angles. Like he has a bunch of celebrities like Dewey Hauser, Will Smith, like Keenan Mitchell, Jimmy Fallon. Like they interview a bunch of dads and just ask them about their journey. And it's actually done by Bryce Dallas Harper. Those of you who know, that's Ron Howard's Bryce Dallas
Bryce
Howard. I'm
Howard.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bryce. That's Ron Howard's daughter, who's a filmmaker as well, and it's really well done. So for those of you who want to have a little bit of insight as to some of the dad journey, I think that's a really good show to watch. It's like an hour and a half
Are
long.
they
It just talks about different dads around the world.
are they just kind of doing what we're doing then in
So
like a movie?
so the beginning is like they're just interviewing like she's just interviewing dad, one on one, talking to Keenan, hey, tell me a little bit about your journey. And then they actually follow around three or four dads. One's in like somewhere in Asia, one's a black dad. I think one's a two dads, a two dad, a dude dad household. So there's just different walks of life. They some have adopted kids, things like that. But it's just really
Hmm.
cool to see just the journey of being a dad and what it means. And you brought up the sleeping thing and taking naps, and like, yeah, like I could take a nap at any time. And I think Doogie Howser says that at one point. Neil Patrick Harris is like, I could sleep at any point right now, and it's because it's tough. It's a lot of work, but you have to take those times to be able to recharge yourself. Like if you work too, or if you go too hard too long, you're gonna wear out and you're gonna have a breakdown of some sort. So definitely you
Well,
need
let's
to
talk
care for
about
yourself.
like how we navigate getting that time because you mentioned it before. It's like just asking, and I think that asking and anticipating are probably the two key words here. Um, to make it like mutual and work within your partnership, whatever it is, your marriage or co-parenting or whatever you're doing. But it's also the giving,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean by anticipating their partner's needs to say, okay, well, how about I take her or him for the next hour, 2 hours, while you get some sleep,
Yeah.
and enduring whatever that may be, in terms of if the kid cries or something, if where you live is big enough that it doesn't just wake everybody up, you know, dealing with that or entertaining the kid because even at the age I'm at, we're approaching 4 months, 3.5 months almost. The wake windows are tricky.
Mhm.
So, can you handle an entire wake window by yourself? You know,
Yeah.
like as a dad, you like, okay, I'm gonna entertain the kid, or we'll walk around, we'll play do some tummy time, whatever. Then it's like, okay, it's easy for an adult to be like, oh, I did that for 20 minutes. Now what do I do?
Mhm.
What I say is start back over like a video game. Say reset, just run it. If you know that took 20
Run it
minutes, you can
back.
do it 3 times. That'll give you an hour. Like just run it back. Like you don't have to be so
True.
progressive in your activities as if you're like, always building something. The kids need a lot of repetition of the same things. So that's
Yeah.
one way to think about that. And then just being able to put the kid to sleep, whatever your relationship is. Like, I think one parent may take the lead on that. Uh, I do most of like the putting to sleep,
Okay.
especially post breastfeeding. It's like rock the baby to sleep or swaddle, whatever the case may be. But that's something both partners got to share. Both partners got to be able to put the baby to sleep, to sleep in the crib. You know, like the actual physical work of like the baby's asleep, put them in the crib, they stayed asleep.
Yeah, that's a lot, and it comes with time because I know, especially for me, learning how to be comfortable putting the baby to sleep, or rocking him, or burping him after a feeding. It takes some time. So yeah, once you get to that level where you feel like you can do that comfortably, that's when you want to be able to have those times where you can give your spouse some time off, or like I said, have that rotation, or have that schedule where, hey, these days I'll take them, and these days you'll take them, and we can just kind of start to really get some sense of normalcy. Once you get that routine, things get a lot easier, especially from a self-care standpoint.
You definitely can't just. This is what happens. I think the mom wants to hold the baby, and the baby falls asleep on the mom. But as a dad, sometimes you either gotta get to let the baby fall asleep on you from an early age,
Mhm.
and I think dads get that when it's later. But the earlier you can start, the better. But
Yeah,
also taking a baby,
seeing
yeah, seeing those sleep cues and understanding like, okay, this baby is just starting to get tired. I have to now start getting it ready for bed. Not wait until,
it.
because if you wait up too long, then the baby gets overtired and kind of gets a second boost. But that second boost is all panic and screaming. When they get overtired, that's the worst.
Overtired,
Because
yeah.
then they don't want to fall asleep. Even if you swallow them, they just want to scream or fight or whatever. When you see that first yawn, you got to start to think ahead. Think what are
Yeah,
the next 10 minutes going to look like?
yeah,
Because this is going to start falling asleep. It's not time to play anymore. You know,
yeah.
put on that peaceful piano.
Oh, Peaceful Piano. Shout out to Peaceful Piano, Spotify
Shout out,
sponsor.
yeah, holler at us. But you got to start working your way down. Um, there's also the lack or the change in your social life,
Oh yeah.
and that's key too, because relationships are going to change, right?
Mhm. You're gonna hang out with only parents from now on. Like your single friends are gone. Like you don't hang out with them anymore because you're not trying to go out to the bar for until 2 a.m. You can't anymore. I mean, you're not going out for drinks. You're not being able to move as easily. So you
Yeah.
start to see yourself with more parents that have kids in your age, um, just by default, and your movements are very different.
And I think this is a benefit a little bit of being an older parent because I've been at a point for a little bit where it's like, man, I ain't trying to go out.
Well, I think that's COVID too. It's
A
funny.
little bit of COVID
I think
too, yeah, for sure.
we got parenting at the right time, because after COVID, like I was the biggest FOMO person before COVID. Like I'm trying to be out, I'm trying to be out all the
Hmm.
time. I'm trying to go here. I'm trying to move. Like, after like for COVID, I'm like, oh, we can sit at the house and I'm not missing anything. And then
Yeah.
in COVID, he got married, had a kid. I'm like, oh, I can just keep on this trajectory, and I'm good. And then having seen the younger generation, to be polite, like, and the lack of interpersonal communication, I'm like, I'm so good. I'm on this trajectory of being old, and I'm happy with it.
Oh yeah, we were too old to be in the club anyway.
Oh yeah.
But
I can't
also
even
I
be in
had
a lounge now. I
yeah,
can
no,
go
I
to
was gonna
brunch.
say friends of mine who are, our age, late 30s, early 40s, they have places they go out too. Millennials are
Mm,
still going out to bars,
yeah,
to the lounge, and it's like I also don't want to be there.
I'm good. Okay,
But
put me in front of the TV, or let me just kick. I'll go to casino. I'm a big casino person, so I'll hit the casino. That's my out and about phase. That's my dad self care.
we'll see, I like to hit like, not a new restaurant in town kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like let's go to the new spot, see what they're talking about, new burgers, new whatever.
Are you
Um,
taking the baby when you go to the new spot?
I'm not going. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh,
This
oh, oh,
is
that's about now.
I
Okay,
wasn't going out before, but these are
got
the
it.
kind of things I would like to do with
Yeah,
single friends when we were all
yeah,
single or childless. And now definitely it's like harder to arrange those things, and people
yeah.
are like, well, let's try to hang out or even bring a baby by. I'm like, bring a baby by.
That's
Maybe
not
in another 3 months I'll bring a baby by. I'm
exactly.
bringing this young, this the only, we chill in the house. She ain't gonna be awake. If we leave the house, by the time we get wherever we're going, she ain't gonna be awake for another half hour at most.
Yeah.
That's if she's not falling asleep in the car and staying
It-
asleep after that.
oh,
She might just be asleep. She don't even want to see you. She don't even have a recognition that you're a new person to notice yet. So
that's funny.
it's like that comes later. So,
Yeah,
but
you
we
you
have
you definitely not. You're not out and about right now.
no. But like I mentioned last week, we have some friends. I think I mentioned this last week, but we have some friends that had kids around the same time.
Yeah.
So we're forming definitely tighter bonds with them. And we had a meetup like I think last Saturday. So I didn't talk about this, but
Oh, nice.
there was like maybe 5 or 6 parents there with kids, and it was like us and our friend who had a kid the day before us,
Hmm. Hmm.
literally. We were the youngest, and then there was like a 5 month old, a 7 month old, 11 month old, maybe another 9 or something. So there was like a variety of baby ages. So it was interesting to see and kind of trade stories, tips, and tricks, and
Yeah.
horror stories too. So that's
Next
definitely
time you
part
do
of self
that,
care, like we said, having
yeah,
that like,
next time you do that, you gotta do it behind the scenes so we can get some content for social media. Like here we're all hanging out with the kid now. Now
we
you don't
should
have to
do
do
a
that.
group podcast, like everybody gather around the
Exactly.
mic and
But
forget the
no,
story.
so when you do those meetups, are you setting up like, or is your spouse setting, or your partner setting them up?
Somebody else,
Okay, yeah,
somebody else
because
entirely just
I,
tells
I
us, yeah, this girl who is a kind of a planner, this lady
yeah,
was like, hey, and she knew like I think 2 of them, 3 of them, they all knew like my partner, this other lady, and this other lady, like all already knew each other. So one of them called 2 other families, and then another one called another family. We called another family, and they couldn't make it that day, but
mhm.
I guess everybody kind of contributed 1 or 2 extra families if they could.
But yeah, it's funny because so from the guy's perspective, it's always like the female of the group
Mm.
that sets up. Like I never have like set up any kind of like dad meetup. Like it's always like my wife will be like, oh, you should go hang out with this dad. I'm like, I mean, just because he's a guy doesn't mean we have anything in common. Like, does he like sports? Like, there's always those
Well,
same conversations. Like, do you like sports? No. Okay, well, we're probably not gonna have anything in common. So we
well,
have
it
a
was
kid
funny
together.
because because motherhood is so different than fatherhood.
Yeah.
But we were talking like, I mean, I spent a lot of time talking to the moms at this thing, and then when I was talking to the dads, it was the same questions. It was like, oh yeah, what's that new what's that, what kind of blanket is that, what kind of, oh yeah, I got that stroller, how does that, we were just getting into like baby
Trying
stuff
to
essentially.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to just submit to what it is, and you can't be like, yeah, we're men, let's talk about motorcycles. We ain't talking about motorcycles, we're talking about diapers. That's what we're
Right.
talking about right now. That's where we are.
Definitely.
Food is an interesting part of self-care,
Hmm.
because not only do you have to watch what you eat just as a person and as you get older, with the baby, you got to also maintain energy levels.
Yeah.
So like the baby goes to bed at like 8 or 9, but they're gonna wake up at like 2.
Yeah.
If you're real early, they're gonna wake up at 11. So if you're eating a lot, it's gonna be harder for you to wake up. Like your
Yeah.
big meals now, you got to come earlier so you can digest them. This is kind of like a very specific thing, but I'm just saying, if you eat lighter before like bedtime, night bedtime, it will be a little bit easier to get up to change a diaper at 2 or 4 in the morning, or when the baby wakes up at 5 or 6 and is like up for the day. You don't want to be like groggy from that. So it starts to be important to be like, okay, what's for dinner? What's for lunch? What am I weighing? Where am I putting the weight of my meals at?
Yeah. And definitely eating healthier. I've seen myself like eating way healthier now. Again, being almost 41 this year. I had to change my diet. I had to change when I ate. I'm going to the gym pretty much daily now just to be able to keep up because my son's getting big and like, the one thing that as a dad I fear is that day I can't pick him up because he's too heavy. So I'm like, okay, I
Yeah,
gotta extend this. So I'm at the gym, like I'm lifting, he's 30 something pounds right now. So I'm lifting like 40-pound dumbbells. Like, okay, I got a little
yeah.
bit, I got a few months
You got
left.
to just like pick them up and walk around the gym.
I do that.
So
Like I'll put them on my shoulder, like throw them over my shoulder. Like, okay, I got some time left, but that's one thing that you hear from old dads is like enjoy this time now because you're not going to always be able to pick them up, or you might be too big, or there might be things that that hinder that relationship. So being able to be healthy and be there and be present, have your rest because that's what they're going to need is that they want that interaction with you and yeah, being able to take care of yourself so you can put as much into them as possible is extremely important.
yeah, yeah. It all ties in to like
Yeah.
your whole package.
Take
as
care
a
of
person.
yourself. You can take care of your kid.
And then, like we mentioned a lot last week, in terms of talking about it's a village, just I talked about this family get together. So there's like the physical side and the mental side of knowing that other people are going through the same thing. And, you know, not that there's light at the end of the tunnel. I don't really like that analogy for this, but just that, you know, other people are going through the same thing. And
Mhm.
it's a constant evolution.
Yeah.
There's just so many different stages of parenting and remembering when like you're talking to somebody else and they're excited about something their kid does. It's like, oh yeah, it reminds you like those are the precious moments, right?
Mhm. They are. And so
Yeah,
I enjoy talking to you because I've forgotten about a lot of the 3 month and 6 month things that happened at that point because again, just so much happens every time. So I enjoy looking back. Oh yeah, he used to do that too. And then it's nice to talk to you about some of the things that you get to you'll be experiencing soon as well because it's when you get to look forward to something like it's a lot right now and like
yeah,
there's a lot of tired and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but the next step is even better. Like once she starts talking and moving and walking and being an actual personality in the house, like I always tell my wife, like he's like the tiebreaker. Like I'll say something, she'll say something like, "All right, what do you think?" And like, okay, he's the tiebreaker. Like it's just fun, like a little family dynamic, and
yeah,
it's a good thing to have that additional personality into the house as they get older. That's something that you molded, so yeah, it's a good time to be there, especially those first few years as we can.
yeah. All right, well, we gotta finish up. I gotta
Yeah, I know
take
I'm
care of
sorry.
some things, but I think we covered like, emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. Everybody's on their own journey. That might be its own its own topic. We want to bring some guests in for that one.
Yeah,
What
definitely
it
want to try to
takes.
bring some guests in coming up soon. Got some people on
Yeah,
on the radar of guests that we could potentially bring in to add some different perspective and talk about different journeys as well. So be on the lookout for that.
yeah, and also, yeah, we're bringing some guests in. So, the title of the podcast, 40 Black and Dad, is like, some guy was like, I was like, do you want to be a guest? He's like, well,
I'm not
not
black.
quite 40, not black, but he's almost 40. And I'm like, well, we're black. We're 40 Black and Dad. But we're just talking about, we can talk to people that are 40, people that are black, or people that are dads, or any combination of those
Yeah,
three words.
exactly. Or we can bring a 34-year-old woman. It's okay.
Exactly. We're talking
34-year-old
about,
Asian woman. It's fine.
we're relating our experience to whoever the guest
Exactly.
is. The guest doesn't have to be anything. The guest could be just interesting or not interesting, and we'll do our best. But anyway,
We just want to build a
uh,
community. We started the Facebook group. We're just trying to build a community for dads to come and experience laughter, love, and just the
yeah,
journey of being a dad and whatever that looks like for them. So you don't have to be black. You don't got to be 40. We'd like you to be a dad or soon to be a dad or just in the space of learning what it is to be a dad. So
yeah,
we're exclusionary of everybody. Inclusive.
inclusionary.
Inclusive. I'd take that out. If we're inclusive of everybody,
Yeah.
I messed that up bad, but it's all good. We love
No,
everyone.
we fixed it. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna head out and we'll be back soon.
All right, sir. You guys have a good one, and talk to you later.
See ya.
Adios.